Almost everyone can identify the Orion constellation, which, along with the Great Bear and the Southern Cross, is just about the most famous constellation in the sky. It is brighter than the Bear, larger than the Cross, and it contains two first-magnitude stars, Rigel and Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is a long way away. Its distance is about 430 light-years. This may not be accurate, but it is definitely not on our doorstep. But it is a pulsating supergiant with a diameter of at least 400 times that of the Sun and luminosity that could match 15,000 suns. Betelgeuse is highly evolved, almost a stellar old-age pensioner. It has used up its main nuclear fuels, which means disaster awaits. If our current theories are right, it will explode as a supernova and will end up as either a neutron star or, more probably, a black hole. So when the supernova outburst happens, how will it impact us here on Earth? Will there be any effects on Earth? And most importantly, is there any danger?
Welcome to Why, where we ask the questions that unlock the secrets of the universe.
In the mid-2000s, scientists at Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory reported in the mid-noughties that a supernova explosion 41,000 years ago at a distance of 250 light-years could have killed off the mammoth. Mammoth tusks dated at 34,000 years old were found to contain tiny impact craters, apparently produced by slightly radioactive iron-rich grains moving at 22 million miles per hour, velocities typical of supernova ejection. Also, 13,000-year-old archaeological sites in North America show evidence of a large impact. This could mean that the debris from a supernova explosion that may have caused the final extinction of the mammoth and other large mammals. There is no doubt that a supernova outburst within a few tens of light years from us would have most unpleasant consequences. A really major supernova can become as luminous as an entire galaxy, and if one of our near neighbors, such as Alpha Centauri, decided to behave in this way, we certainly couldn't ignore it. It would become as bright as the moon, which wouldn't matter, but it would bathe us in all types of radiation, which would matter very much. There hasn't been any supernova in our galaxy since the 17th century, but in 1987, one blazed out in the Large Cloud of Magellan, and the results were easily detectable even from a distance of 169,000 light-years. So does the dimming of Betelgeuse mean it's about to explode? Because Betelgeuse is so close to our planet, when it explodes and turns into a supernova, it will be bright enough to be visible during daytime for weeks. But because it is almost 430 light-years away when the supernova outburst happens, Betelgeuse will briefly shine in our skies far more brilliantly than any other star or planet. While we do not know as of yet if Betelgeuse is a threat or not, scientists have already discovered a telltale way to detect when a star is about to go supernova. This revolutionary new discovery could help in developing an early warning system before one of these massive cosmic explosions happen. Simulated data in the study showed what red supergiant stars would look like in the year before they go supernova. Such stars swell in size before they turn into a supernova and get dimmer and fainter. The simulations revealed that before this explosion occurs, a cocoon of circumstellar dust builds up around the star. This makes the stars become around 100 times fainter in visible light in their final few months before they die. The dimming may be caused by a sudden accumulation of material around the star, which obscures its light, though scientists aren't sure how this happens. With that information, astronomers will be able to point other telescopes at the target to study the physical conditions of the star's atmosphere as it prepares for the final countdown to its self-destruction. In 2020, Betelgeuse suddenly blew its top off and ejected a gigantic portion of its surface mass. No one in the world had seen anything like this, a sentiment which was shared by NASA as well. While solar flares are common, no doubt, this eruption was something much stronger. Our sun keeps throwing tantrums all the time. On October 2nd, 2022, the sun had emitted a strong solar flare. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured an image of the event. This flare was found to be an X1 flare, one of the most intense flares as we're heading towards the solar maximum, a time when solar flares are at their most frequent, strong, and potentially catastrophic if they hit Earth. On the night of March 29th this year, a massive solar flare knocked out radio communications on our planet. As we have already explained solar flares before, they are huge explosions from the sun's surface that emit intense bursts of electromagnetic radiation. This solar flare was immensely powerful and classified as an 101.2 flare, belonging to the most powerful X-class, barged in on the Earth, ionized the top layer of the atmosphere, and managed to severely disturb the radio communication across Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand for a good 1 hour. The flare appeared from the largest and most complex sunspot group that is currently observed in the southwestern part of the sun's disk by space weather forecasters. This X-class solar flare is already the 7th this year. Just so you know the difference, the year 2022 altogether witnessed just 7 X-class solar flares. This year has barely started and is already on the verge to surpass 2022's count of flares. That is massive. The Betelgeuse eruption, however, was a much more massive explosion. This particular ejection was 400 billion times the mass of an ordinary solar flare from our sun. Scientists have stated that the unusually huge amount of ejection in Betelgeuse surely is a phenomenon that needs more understanding before they can give us any certain answers and arrive at conclusions. While we know that red giants burn through their fuel a lot quicker than yellow dwarfs like our sun, what is interesting is that the star had mysteriously dimmed all of a sudden. Astronomers around the world were perplexed as to why the phenomenon was taking place, but none had any explanations at the time. It will be a while before we have any definitive answers about Betelgeuse, but it seems that of all the candidates that could go supernova soon, Betelgeuse does seem to be the nearest dot, and if it exploded, we would learn a ton from it. And after its outburst died away, the whole look of the celestial hunter, Orion, would be changed forever. Dot the Giant would have lost his shoulder. Even though the supernova is still some time away, we need to keep an eye out on these disturbances may someday affect our future generations, if not us. But what do I know?